Alright, good day student. As you can see, what we have today is equation involving variable x. So you are given that 4 in bracket 3x squared plus x plus 1, you close bracket, minus 10 in bracket 3x squared plus x minus 1, you close bracket, divided by 3x squared plus x is equals to 7. You are required to find the values of x. So this type of equation, you first of all have to see how the equation looks like and see that they have a common terms between the given expression. Here there is 3x squared plus 3x, and here there is 3x squared plus x, and also we have 3x squared plus x. So the best way is to assign another variable to substitute these two terms, so that in this case let y equals to 3x squared plus x. So once we say let y equals to 3x squared plus x, we can now put it in this bracket, this given equation. So this implies that 4 in bracket y plus what 1 minus 10 in bracket what y minus 1 divided by y is equals to 7. So from here we have to simplify this expression, this equation. So in order to clear fraction, we have to multiply the both sides of the equation by y. So doing that, we have 4y in bracket y plus 1 minus, you multiply y here, it will cancel. So multiplying y here, it will cancel to give us 10 in bracket y minus 1 is equals to 7y. So once we arrive here, the next thing you have to do is to open bracket. So that means multiply everything in the bracket by 4y. We have 4y squared plus 4y multiplying to 1, we have 4y minus 10 multiplying y will give us minus 10y plus what minus 10 multiplying minus 1 give us plus 10, and we have 7y. So once you get to this point, the next thing you have to do is to bring all the terms of the equation into one side of the equation and then simplify the equation. In this case, we have 4y squared plus what 4y minus 10y plus 7 crosses equal sign, it becomes minus 7y plus 10 is equals to 0. So from here, the next thing you have to do is to combine like terms. In this case, we have 4y plus 4y minus 10y minus 7y will give us what? We have minus 13 plus 10 is equals to 0. So we can now create bracket and bring it up. So we have 4y squared minus 13y plus 10 is equals to 0. So you clean here. So the next thing you have to do is to factorize the equation formed in y. You have to factorize the equation formed in y. Factorize out. So in this case, you have to find two terms. If you add them, you have the two terms, you have minus 13y, and when you multiply the two terms, it will give us the product of the first term and the third term. So in this case, we have 4y squared. We have treated how to factorize in the last lesson. Minus 5y minus 8y plus 10 is equals to 0. So minus 5y minus 8y will give us minus 13y. If you multiply the two, it will give us the product of the first term and the third term. That is plus what? 40y squared. So from here, you can now factorize out what is common between the two terms. Y is common, so I bring y outside and open bracket. I have 4y minus 5 minus what 2 is common in bracket. I have 4y minus 5 close bracket, which is equals to what? 0. So from here you have, this implies 4y minus 5 y minus 2 is equals to 0. So what next to do here? Here you have 4y minus 5 is equals to 0, or y minus 2 is equals to 0. So at this point, let's clean here. So at this point, you have to find y. How do we get y? So once we arrive at this point, we now know that y is equals to minus 5 crosses equals sign, it gives us 5 divided by 4, or y is equals to what? 2. So you have gotten two values of y. So the next thing is to substitute y with the original value. Substitute y with the original value, that is y is equals to 3s squared plus x. So wherever you see y, you put this value. This implies that 3x squared plus x is equals to what? 5 over 4, or 3s squared plus x is equals to what? 2. So now we have two quadratic equation in x. We can now solve them one at a time. So let's solve this one. Have to clear fraction, that is multiply each of the term by 4 to clear fraction. So here will be 4 multiplying 3x s squared plus what? 4x is equals to 5 over 4 times 4. And when you do that, you have 12x squared plus 4x is equals to 5. So from here, 5 crosses equal sign, you have 12x squared plus 4x minus what? 5 is equals to 0. So from here, you have to do what? You have to solve the factorize. You have to factorize, then factorize, find two terms in which if you add them, the two terms, it will be equals to plus 4x, and when you multiply the two terms, it will give us the product of the first term and the third term. So we have 12x squared. This implies 12x squared, the two term will be what? Plus 10x minus what? 6x minus 5 is equals to 0. Because if you multiply these two terms, it will give us minus 60x squared. Minus 5 multiplying plus 12x squared will give us what? Minus 60x squared. So if you add the two terms, it will give us plus 4x. So let's clean here. So what next? Next is to factorize what is common between these two terms. 2s is common, so we bring 2s outside and open bracket. We have 6x plus 5. What is common between these two terms? Minus 1 is common. You bring it outside and open bracket. Have 6x plus 5 is equals to 0. So we have 6x plus 5. 2s minus 1 is equals to 0. So from here, we can now find the value of x. All you need to do is to equate each of the factor to 0 so that we can solve for x. So from here, have 6x plus 5 is equals to 0, or 2x minus 1 is equals to 0. So from here you have x is equals to minus 5 over 6. You have what? Minus 5 over 6, or s is equals to half. So by solving the first one, this, let me bring it here, 3x squared plus x is equals to 2. So by solving the first equation, this equation, we have s is equals to minus 5 over 6, or half. So let's solve for the second one. So the second one is 3s squared plus x is equals to what? Is equals to 2. So you have to bring 2 to the left hand side, rearrange the terms so that it will form a quadratic equation. From here we have 3s squared plus x minus 2 is equals to 0. So solve quadratic equation in x. So from here you have to factorize, and as long as the quadratic equation can be factorized out, so all you need to do is to find two terms that will replace plus x. So from here we have 3s squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 2 is equals to 0. See, this replace x, and if you multiply it, it will give us what? The product of the first and the last, which is minus 6s squared. So from here we can factorize out, have 3x in bracket x plus 1 minus 2 in bracket s plus 1 is equals to 0. So this will equal to what? 0. So from here have x plus 1, we have 3x minus 2 is equals to 0. So equate each of these to 0. Have x plus 1 equals to 0, or have also 3x minus 2 is equals to 0. So once you have done that, you have that x is equals to minus 1, or what? X is equals to 2 over 3. 2 over what? 3. So by solving the second equation, let's bring it here. 3s squared plus x equals to 2. We have that x is equals to minus 1, or 2 over 3. So this is how you can solve this problem. So once you have arrived at this point, you can also check your answer to make sure that there is no extraneous solution. So from the given equation, we can now say that the value of x, therefore x is equals to minus 5 over 6, half, minus 1, or 2 over 3. So these are the values of x. I hope you enjoyed this video. Before you go, please click the subscribe button so that whenever to encourage me to bring more videos for your view, click the notification button, like and share, so that whenever we have new updates, we send you a text so that you follow up. Please encourage me by subscribing to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next lesson. Bye for now.